talking to myself. George was busy kind of, I don't know what he was doing, but he left me to it. And it was kind of a slightly, I got used to it, but it was kind of awkward. When I saw the finished film and Ben Bird had put in all the R2-D2 sounds, it was magic. It was as though it had always been like that, but it wasn't. But then we come back to The Force Awakens, where I got a phone call from Kathy Kennedy, the producer of these films, and she said, would it be okay if J.J. Abrams, who's directing the next movie, would it be okay if he called you on the phone? Tough decision. He rang, and he talked, and we got over his huge fandom of C3PO, because he likes 3PO. He likes everything Star Wars. That's why we were so lucky he directed. But he said, you're going to be would you just like to do the voice? And I said, no. He said, quite right. But I said, I would like a new suit. And he said, okay. He's a very lovely man. And so in fact, they 3D printed it, which still makes it as heavy as pretty much it was, but it means you can make little changes on the computer and print it out and try that, and it works better. The head used to take half an hour to put on. How long does yours take, then?
Actually, only about 5 minutes.
Good. Well, now it goes on, because they've changed the way it fits together. 8 seconds. Fabulous. Which means I can take it off after each shot. What are we talking about here?
Your favorite one to work on.
Oh, favorite one to work on. Probably, I have to say, The Force Awakens. And one of the reasons was, if we had a set like this ballroom, whatever it is, I'm not sure, we had the thing, we had a place like, it was all built. You could walk in on a Monday morning and go, look at this. Wow. The set, and wait till you see the next movie. Yes. Amazing, and I'm so uncool. I walk in and go, oh, look, this is, and I touch things. And things that look hot are not hot. It's along with lighting. Things that look very cold, it's just polystyrene and candle wax and salts. It's all me. Really, I'm destroying things here. So, in answer to your question, finally, it's probably the most recent ones. I had fun on all of them. I mean, I worked. What is fun is now everybody on the set is a Star Wars fan. Do you realize that everybody who works there has grown up, rather like you with Star Wars? So there's a great atmosphere. And of course, I've met many different actors over the time. And there I am. And there's Sam Jackson, who's suddenly become a Jedi, isn't he? And he's going, I can't believe I'm in a scene with C3PO. And I'm going, I'm in a scene with Michael. Go and sit down. Good. So there have been so many different actors, and yeah. It's weird because you see all the actors in different ways. You start off at the beginning of the day. Usually you come in, it's maybe 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe 8, and you come in and you do a walkthrough. You go on the set, it's unlit, it's probably cold, so everybody's kind of wearing down jackets, and it always made me laugh on the last movie, because Carrie used to come in clad in like duffel suits, so this kind of ball of a duvet would come in, of course with a can of Coke. That's the way you recognized it was Carrie's can of Coke. And her hair would be in rollers because they're about to do it and whatever. And you would run through the scene, and then what happens is you work out where you're going to stand, where you're going to go, and then you do a little run through for the camera crew, the sound crew and the lighting crew. So you go through all the moves, and then they say, thank you very much, if you would like to go to breakfast. What are you laughing about? The most important thing on a film set is the food. It's what the crew lives for, I promise you. You have bad food on a movie, you've got a bad movie. People don't like that kind of thing. And then, of course, you come back maybe 2 hours later, because one of the things in the Star Wars movie is the lighting is so beautiful. You love the scenes because they look good. And there, then I would come back, and I got all my underclothes on, and as everybody assembles, I began to dress up, whatever. And there, for instance, would come Carrie. Now, I think a general, isn't she, or something? Yeah. And looking absolutely beautiful and princess-like and leader-like and whatever, still with a can of Coke. You would be amazed how many shots that she's in has, from my point of view, has got a can of Coke hidden somewhere on the set. And the crew were desperate not to feature it, you know, because Coca-Cola would love that kind of thing, wouldn't they? Yes, product placement, but that wasn't the case. But of course, I had known Carrie for wow. She came into filming a few weeks after Mark and I had started. And of course the hologram, we did the hologram before she was there. So the first thing we knew about Princess Leia was nothing, because we were all staring at a table going, who is she? She's so beautiful. It's an empty table. I'm looking at Mark like, you crazy? What? Nothing there. He's a very good actor. You know, one reason you believe in C3PO is because Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, believes in C3PO, talks to 3PO. Therefore, you know Mark isn't crazy, you know he's an intelligent guy. He gets 3PO. You get 3PO through his eyes, yeah? And my brilliant acting. What are you laughing at? So there we are, we do the whole thing, and the truly memorable, really memorable thing I remember, memorable, was the day in a big set, X-Wing fighter down there, which Luke Skywalker just nuked the Death Star. And Carrie and I had to run from the back of the set, quite a long way, right across to congratulate him and all that. And as we ran, I could hear, she started making funny sounds, and I kind of turned around a bit, and she is now laughing, and you must have heard this, clutching her boobs. Because as she ran, they took on a life of... I know you know the feeling. I know the very nice feeling. And she was just giggling away, so of course we had to go back to number one, where you start. And she went away to wardrobe, and she came back swathed in the sort of crepe bandage that you put around a sprained ankle, you know. So she was like a cast-iron lady as she ran forward. Nothing moved. But then when we arrived, of course, here's the really silly thing. As we arrived at the X-Wing, Mark Hamill had jumped out and come down the little stairs, and all the extras were running by, everywhere, all of them completely ignoring him, because nobody had told them that he had done something huge, powerful, and heroic. And they just had been told to run there, run back there, and he's going up to people and congratulating them. You ask him next time you see, you know, well done, fantastic job. It was him. People forget to talk about, tell the extras, the background artists, what's happening. They did back then, not so much now. But another favourite thing of Carrie is very shortly after the film opened, I was doing something in Hollywood, and she took me to a restaurant called Dar Maghreb on Hollywood Boulevard, a North African fitting restaurant. And we had a great meal, and the maitre d', this big guy in a kind of Tunisian outfit or whatever, I ran the place, and he was English, and he said, Miss Fisher, I really, really love that film, and he went on at some length about what a brilliant film, and we were both sort of slightly glowing, and I was waiting for Carrie to say, and this, he said, there's only two things I didn't like in that film. Those two bloody robots. I think Carrie doubled his tip. And the last memory, maybe I'm going on about Carrie, but yes, we were all really shocked. In the last film, no, The Force Awakens, there was one shot which I didn't make it, we changed the whole storyline, but there was one point where she looked in rehearsal into my eyes, because 3PO had done something really good, and said, you deserve a hot oil bath. And the look in her eyes was so loving and so whatever, and again when I was dressed up as 3PO, and I looked into those eyes, and she looked into mine, and it was really touching, and that's the memory I keep with her. We all miss her. The magic of the movies is you will see her as you've never seen her before. And the other day when I was putting my voice back on, I had completely forgotten what we'd shot, and suddenly in the footage that I'm watching, there she is, living forever. That's movies for you.